Hello, it's Mercy here from Dal Riata. Time again for the weekly summary for Sunday the 10th of January. And it's been quite a week, or at least quite a last couple of days anyway. We've had been bombarded by world media here down in New Zealand, where I'm from, which we're pretty immune to a lot of the stuff that goes on, but gosh, the media's been just playing and overplaying all the shenanigans in the USA at the moment. We've got the COVID crisis in the UK sort of reaching a peak, with Queensland and Australia's locked down again, Germany's locked down again, and our poor Edward is so severely affected by that. We've got new strains of COVID being talked about, and the possibility of what that's going to mean for vaccines. There's so much turmoil in the world at the moment. It's kind of nice that you can hide away in gems of war. Well, that's what I think anyway. Anyway, putting it out there, I don't know whether 2021 is going to be a great deal better than 2020, to be perfectly honest at this stage, but let's see how we go. Let's try and keep our guild together, at least. Okay, so today, let's look back at the week first. We have, let me see, we've had Chasing the Sun world event. We've had a bit of a lull in our world events during the Christmas and New Year period, as we often do. We often do in our members numbers as well. So we've been down to 28. We were down at 27 at the beginning of the week. We're back at 28. I think after today we'll be back down to 27 again, which is not brilliant. I like staying at 30, so I'd much rather be there. Tasks, we're doing pretty well on tasks now, so of course we always complete those in the first day, and we're always hitting epic purples and epic greens, and we do that of course because epic purple, you get the magic, but you also get the magic deeds, so you can get your magic kingdoms up, and I think most people still need to do that. So I think there's only maybe one or two in the guild who don't really need those anymore, but for the majority of those members in the guild, this is the most important epic task. Then the green one's the second most important, because it has all the writs that you can then turn into deeds to get your kingdoms up to 15. So that's the second one we do, so we always go epic purple, then epic green, and then I don't really care. But it looks like people are keen to get the epic blue tasks, and I'm guessing that's for the keys. So that's kind of the order we do it. We don't never do red. Never waste your money on red. I mean, who needs that stuff? And these are quite useless as well. But some people like going for them, I guess, for the keys, because they perceive them as being cheap. But it is better to go for a single class. So that's good. We're getting both tasks, and then we are doing other stuff, so that's fine. Don't forget to collect your seals. We always get 40,000 seals, but don't forget to collect them. It's really important on the first week of every month, because that's the one we go for. We want the 40,000 by Friday, to get the new mythic. So of course it's always important to do that. So try and do it every time you end a session. So finish your session by collecting your seals first. And I do note that we've got a new player down here, demotions, who hasn't got any seals, despite giving 1 million gold and playing as much as me, actually, by the looks of it. Yep, more than me. So do collect your seals. Those are important, of course, because those are what you use to get your mythic. So not collecting your seals is actually kind of strange, because you missed 2 pulls for 1,000 guild chests on your Friday. So that's kind of interesting, actually, to collect those. So I don't understand that. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I know I can't imagine anybody in our guild doesn't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about these things, the guild chests. So 40,000 seals gets you up to 6. Whoops, what did I do that for? I wanted to show you. I don't want to open one. Go back here. How can we look at that? Maybe maybe we can't. You see I've got 10,000 seals here. That gives me 10 pulls of this, so 10 chances at 50 or 500 chests I'll be opening. It's important to know that we're up on... Oh, I see. Okay, we can't see that from there. We have to see it from the guild. Those chests, it's important to not pull those chests until you get to 40,000 seals, because it means you can draw a mythic card here, and you don't draw a, what's that, an epic or a common. So commons and epics are out. And if you've collected all your guardians and you've got them up to mythic and you've got all your guardians at 4, you've got more than 4 an amount of mythics at 20th level, guardians at mythic and 20th level, you don't draw guardians either, so your chances of drawing a mythic are much higher. In fact, they're the best from seals than any other type of keys. So for your Friday draw, it's better than gem keys, it's better than glory keys, way better than glory keys. They are your best chance at drawing the new mythic. So although I don't usually go there first, I usually use these guys because these guys are the easiest to get there, and they're kind of worthless. So I'll use those first, then I go to use my seals. And sometimes if I get a bit low on these guys, these keys, then I'll go use my gem keys, which is what I did last time. And then in my last resort, if I spend all those, I will start spending glory, the stuff here, because 1,000 glory gets you, I don't know, 50 keys or something like that. But the chances of drawing from glory are much lower than the chances of drawing from the guild keys. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the stuff. This is why you collect seals, because you get at least 2,000 a week. So 2,000 a week, 4 weeks, every 4.5 weeks a new mythic comes out. So you've collected, 8,500, 9,000, just from those collecting those seals. And 9,000 seals is quite a lot. A lot of the time that is enough to get you the new mythic. Sometimes it isn't. Well, probably half the time actually. But then you've got your orbs of clans as well, which you want to cash in to also get more of those keys. So most of us don't use keys at any other time but those times, but that day. If you're really lucky and you get it on a first pull and you don't use it much else, then the second Friday of the month, I would use all my gem keys, because that's the best day to draw. Second Friday of the month, after reset, is the best day to draw other mythics. So that's the best strategy. Anyway, you can ask more about that in chat if you like. So anyway, I just diverged terribly. Let's get back to talking about what I was talking about. So back to the guild. So how are we doing as a guild? We've gone up a couple of ranks. We're about to hit 400, which is nice. We've got enough members, but would like a couple more. Let's look at the roster. Actually, no, let's go look at the event first, and then we'll look at the roster. The event we got to stage 12 quite easily. We got to it last night, so 24 hours ago we hit this, so that was pretty good. I topped the table, which was nice. Doesn't happen that often, but there you go. We've got one of our new guys in he did really well. El Diablo always does really well. Edward does really well. Rattlehead does really well. AKZ always does really well. Lyric does really well. Dennis has tend to have done really well. Shadow's always up there. Lex is always up there. Here's another player who hasn't been around for a great deal of time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, but really making a mark. And all these guys look regular attendees, so well done. Our group is you can see how strong our guild is at the moment, and how we really pull together when we do make an event. So that's really good. Well done. I'm proud of you all. Bit sad about this. That's not even trying at all. That's hardly any fights at all. I mean, seriously. And Morgan, you've just had a bad week, so that's fine. So there you go. It was quite an easy one, this one. I thought, let me see, I've got some signals left, so we can have a look at my team. This is the hardest one to hit. The Mirage Queen was the hardest one. This is the team I used. Queen Titania I found was really useful. I just liked being able to, I found this easy taking on the Mirage Queen because I got to cast Essence of Evil on Crabman, which was the one that submerged and meant you can't kill it with Queen Titania. Mirage Queen always just died really fast with me, so I didn't really notice Mirage Queen itself, but Crabman was the hard one. But that team did pretty well for me. And thank you very much for everybody who shared their teams. We had a lot of sharing of teams from the Sentinels, and that's really important. And remember, that's the difference between that's the difference in our guild between a Sentinel and a commander. So if you are a commander presently and you want to be a Sentinel, you won't get to be a Sentinel just by giving lots of gold. Sorry, Rattlehead. You will get there by giving advice and commenting in chat. So you will, by giving teams, so sharing your teams, and nobody really criticizes your teams, so it's really super useful. That's my team I used I got it from Tacit, I think. El Diablos, that's the team I used on my pure runs. Actually, no, I didn't. I used, I think I used 4 Rhinotaurs, 4 Mechataurs for the first one, and then afterwards I used El Diablos team. So it's really useful to get somebody else's team to steal or to use. So Lyric used, that's where I got that team from. I got it from Lyric, and then saw Tacit used it, but he used a different version of it. I'm sharing the team I used, but everybody else was sharing teams that they used, so that's really good. So that's the difference between a Sentinel and a Commander, by the way. So anyway, while we're looking at the roster, let's talk about promotions. So we've got no Commanders going up to Sentinels because you've got to speak. We've got, of the Commanders, everybody's doing fine. Morgan didn't have such a great week, so will be demoted. But that's fine. I mean, you just have a good week next week and then you go back up again. So it really makes no difference. So don't be disappointed. Who else have we got? We've got Erica, who will be going up to Commander. So congratulations. We have got... Who else we got going up? We've got de Maupassant, who is a recruit, will definitely be going up, but you've got to collect your seals. Come on, collect your seals. And you're basically going up not because of this, but you're going up not because of this. You're going up because of your coming third in the event. Because the world events to me are the most important thing at the moment, because they are the thing that gives us the major orbs of power, and luckily I got a major orb of ascension this week from that, so thank you very much everybody. That's a huge thing, and I used it to combine and make a power orb to go towards my Zilgoth, which I'll eventually get. Zwazu will be going down to recruit. Fort Knox will be staying the same, but not being booted out because he did well in the event. He didn't reach the requirements, so normally that would be booted out. The only reason why you're not booted out is because we're on 28, not on 30. Pilsink will be going up because you reached the requirements and played, and Lemania will be going up. So congratulations all those for promotions, and Truba will be leaving us because that's just a shocking performance. Really, we just don't want you in the guild. So there you go, and that's it. So next week we've got, let me see, we have, so that's it for the weekly summary. You can go away now. Next thing is I'm going to talk about the week coming up, and then I'm actually going to answer a question from Shadow, which I didn't, Shadow made a question, or wrote a question in the chat that I tried to address, but actually I'm going to address in more full in this. So here's the first point where you can stop watching the video if you don't want to know what's happening next week. So next week we've got the campaign, of course, on Monday, so that'll be busy. We have got the world event is in Merlantis. So Merlantis is, of course, the world of creatures that submerge. So that's going to be a bit of a pain. So AoE Rowains and stuff like that aren't going to work very well. Our Rowains and our Teslas and things like that are going to struggle. So we're going to have to be a bit more cunning. But let's see how we go. I have not got a Merlantis Mythic, unfortunately, so I'll be opening event keys. I can't remember how many I've got. I hope I've got some. So I'll be wanting one of these guys. So who's the one? Who is it? Who is it? I haven't got Aquaticus. That's who I want. And I also haven't got the Kingdom up, because why not? Why haven't I got it to 15? Oh, because I haven't got these guys. So I need another one of these guys. Otherwise I would have that one up. So that's what's going on there. Let's just have a look. Who are the mythics for Merlantis? Well, we've got two. We've got Undine and Aquaticus, and I've got neither of them. So there we go. So they will probably come in the event. So I will be putting I'll be putting a team together which doesn't have mythics. So look for that in chat if you also don't have the mythics. Otherwise, there will be hopefully some Sentinels posting some excellent Aquaticus and Undine teams. So that's what we've got, and I think it's Merfolk and Mystics, I think, is the world event, but I can't, it changes. You never really know. Well, I can't find out anyway. On Monday we also have a glory troop called Cyrene, she is a Merfolk Mystic, and she stuns and tangles, eliminates magic and drains mana, so I don't know if she's going to be useful or not. We will wait and see. She doesn't do any damage, so possibly not that useful. But the stun and tangle might be helpful for the Merlantis, tricky Merlantis troops that do some bad stuff, because I think there's some devours in there as well too. So that might be quite useful. It might be quite useful to take out some of those guys so they don't devour you. So maybe stunning is going to be a good thing, this world event. Anyway, Tuesday we have Guild Wars. And Guild Wars, we are registered. So Guild Wars, I feel Guild War is important. Remember to set up your defense early. Remember to have those individual things. But most importantly in our guild is we always win. I mean, we have not won once. We win every week except for 1 week back, possibly almost a year ago now, where we came second. So we always win, and we always win because we all play. And it doesn't really matter. I don't care how many points you get, how many wins and losses you get, so long as we swamp the opposition with sheer numbers. That always wins. And play on the day, please, because we want that XP bonus. We want to win the battles on the day, because then we get an XP bonus, and we get 100% bonus to XP for the whole week, which is really, really, really good. So that's, people forget about that, but do remember to do that. So even if you just log on and do your Guild Wars, that's awesome. Wednesday we've got Krabby the pet from Atlantis, and don't forget to do your pets. Pets become really important, by the way, guys, because why do they become important? They become important because you can't get beyond power level 12 without having your pets to 20, and you can do that in one of two ways. You can do it by completing your factions, or you can do it by collecting pets. So collect pets. It is an important part of the game as you get later on. Thursday is the Tide Caller class. I'll talk about that a bit later anyway. Friday is a second event of the week, which is the Raid Boss event, which is great, because Raid Boss's event for the events that only last 3 days are very easy to complete. We will almost certainly complete that one. And the Godslayer is who is it? It's what's her name? Kendrala Blood Jewel. So we've already got Kendrala Blood Jewel. We've already got her. She's all traded and leveled and everything like that. She's all good to go. And she gives rogues life, and she does lots of damage, and she gets mana back, I think, doesn't she? Yep, she gets her own mana back if she kills somebody. So she's alright. So we'll be having her playing for us in the weekend. So we'll look for teams with her in it. And we'll be taking on Zul Goth in some kind of way. So that's Friday. So I'm anticipating us making that and getting to the end of that event. But remember, the World event is the important one. That's the one that promotions and demotions are based on. So that's the one you really want to. That's the really one you want to concentrate on. But I assure you, we will finish the raid boss anyway, because I will be focusing on the raid boss because I love raid bosses. So watch out, El Diablo. You're going to have competition for the top of the table again. Okay, so that is next week. So now I'm going to, so this is another place to stop the video now. The rest of the video is I'm addressing a question that was posed in chat by Shadow. And let's actually go to the question that Shadow asked. I think it's still in chat. Shadow, where are you? Shadow. Hi, Mercy. Oh, no, that's something else. Shadow's calling out Pet, which is great. I like hearing from Shadow. She's nice. Always makes my day when I see her in chat. So let me see. She did ask a question. It was a very good question, and it was just hard to answer. Where is it? Shadow. Hey guys, I have got a question. Hey guys, have a question. Do you get each class up to 100 or just use one that you like? So this is tricky. So I kind of answered it. Where did I answer it? Yes. So I've said, here we go. She said, there you go. She tends to rock Thief because she uses teams that boost gold, which is great because they're really fun. I love teams that boost gold as well. So I totally agree with you, Shadow. But I'm noticing that with the campaigns, they get me to use specific classes, and normally it's the ones I haven't upgraded. So that's true. So they do. So they rotate. The campaigns rotate through them. So they do get you to use ones that you haven't upgraded because they get you to use all of them. So you asked whether you should get them all up, and the answer is, of course, yes. So in the way the game's changed in the last sort of 4 to 6 months, world events and campaigns have, I believe, changed the game fundamentally. It's a completely different game now than it was a year ago, or a year and a half ago than when I started. It used to be that there was only certain things. So, you know, in those days, people used the skeleton team or the dwarven sort of skull team and things like that, and so you used Titan and Thief and classes like that. So they were the ones you got up to 100. And you didn't really worry too much about the others, but actually that's not really true anymore at all, because you are forced to use different classes often, and there's no point having classes languishing down at level 10 when you're going to have to use them in world events, and your guild like ours is going to be all crazy and insist that you do well. So I've said the last world event was actually a good example, because of this idea of the game changing where everything becomes useful. So, you know, even the Isageus shield, which we got, I don't know, I think we got it like 9 months ago. We got that in an obscure event 9 months ago, and it's completely useless. But suddenly it was massively important. So if you had the Isageus shield, you did really well in last week's world event. Which was a very, very hard world event unless you had that shield. So kind of funny, really. So anyway, I think it's a good thing, and I've said I think it's good because I think it makes the game more interesting. It makes all your troops more relevant. It makes all your weapons possibly relevant. It makes all your classes relevant, and it makes you come up with interesting teams or discover interesting teams that other people have created for you. So I like it. I think that's a great thing. It's much more, I think it keeps the game alive and changes every week. So tomorrow I'm looking forward to making new teams for the campaign. I'm looking forward to the new world event, because we're going to have a team that I haven't used before. So this is fun to me. So I like this idea. So I've said I'm going to discuss this in the weekly summary. So this is what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to answer this question in more detail, because it's not quite true. So there's more parts to this question. So There are better classes to get to 100 than others. So there are some classes that you really have to get to 100, and you're kind of silly not to. There are other classes that have, there's a whole lot of classes actually that are good to get to 100 because they have specific teams associated with them, and those teams are meta teams. So they're teams that have a particular synergy about them, that they are really good for particular things. So I'm going to go through in the next it's going to be a long time, it's going to take about 20 minutes. I'm going to go through the classes and those teams that are the best ones for that class, or the classes make that team really good for some reason. So I'm going to go through. So I'm going to be presenting a whole lot of teams that, in the next 20 minutes. So if you just want to see the teams, just fast forward, just drag your slider along on YouTube and see the teams. I'm sure many of you know them, but hopefully there's some you don't know. Or hopefully there's some that are new for you, or you have got the troops for and never even thought about. So, and if I miss some, then hopefully you get to tell me, and then I'll make them, which is cool. So please don't offer feedback in the video, because I'll never read it. Offer the feedback in the chat. Say, hey, I looked at your video and I saw you didn't have the Warden team that I've got. That is really awesome, or something like that. So let's do it. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. So let's look at the classes that are just absolutely essential, and then we're going to run through the rest of them. So I think the essential ones are, if you're going to get the first one to 100, I think it should be, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Titan. I'm going to say Sentinel 100, or Titan 100. Titan 100, and that's because they are just awesome teams for using raid boss, tower, explore, big high level factions. They're, especially Titan actually, they're the big guys that protect you against the really high statted enemy troops. So those two, Titan and Sentinel, absolutely essential to get at least one of them to 100, but I'd get both for versatility, which is what I've done. Thief is the other one, of course. That's a no-brainer, and we'll go through Thief a bit later, because Thief is associated with the best team in the game. So Thief's really super versatile, also really useful at the beginning of the game. So everybody's already probably got Thief to 100 anyway. And then I would say a green creator. So a leaf storm creator, and so I would say possibly Warden, because Warden is associated with Rowan. So I would say get Warden to 100, or possibly, if you're a little bit more fancy or different, Orb Weaver, and I'll show you why. So those are the ones that I think are absolutely essential. So Titan, Sentinel, Thief. Titan or Sentinel, but possibly both. Thief and Warden and Orb Weaver. Those are the ones that are just essential to get to 100. You may have a different one because you've got a favourite team, but now we're going to go into the team specific ones anyway, so we're probably going to cover that anyway. But those are the ones that I just think you just have to have up to 100. I won't even tell you why. So anyway, there's reasons why, but those, when you look at them, that's going to take too long if we go into actually the classes themselves. So let's run through alphabetically and just talk about them. So Archer, I'm a bit embarrassed that I haven't got Archer to 100, because Archer is another one of the ones you get really early on in the game, and a lot of people have Archer up to 100 as the first one. I don't, but I probably should. So Archer is really good because of this team here. Where is it? Double gob truffle. So this team here exploits Archer, Forest Troll, gob truffle, Mercy. Mercy. No, it's Doomglaive. So Doomglaive. This is a great team for 500 level factions. I also use it sometimes for, if I want to be, what do I use it for? The Vault. Sometimes use it as a Vault if I don't want to lose the Vault, have any chance of losing. This is a really super looping team, so everybody should know about this team. If you don't have Doomglaive, don't worry about it. Let's just get another team. But This one is a very, very, very strong team. And actually, now I look at it, actually that's one that we can use in the current Tauros faction, the Labyrinth. I just noticed that then because which is green and red. So actually I could use that. That's interesting. So I will probably use this a bit later on when it gets really hard. So there you go. That's why you would use Archer. Archer's super good. It's got this stuff here. So the root trap natures or a wall of vines make it very, very useful. And that's about it really. So Archer is a good team. So possibly you would put that in the last category I talked about. Archmagus, lots has talked about Archmagus, but I do not have a team for it, so I'm not going to talk about Archmagus. Assassin I will talk about. So Assassin to me is useful. I've got it at 64. It would be better off. I'd be better off having it a bit higher because of this one, Rising Shadows at the end. 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another dies. So I want that one. I want to get it up to 100 for this thing here. And there is a team that you use it for, and that team is up here somewhere. It's a really, really good team. You don't see it very often. People don't talk about it very often, but this team here is very, very good. Treachery, and it's so good that I've even medalled Treachery. I've medalled Marilith. Oh, I haven't medalled Marilith to gold. I must do that. That'll be something I do straight after this. You need Cobra's Curse, and Cobra's Curse gives boosts Naga and does red and green gems. And if you see red and green gems, feeds into Marilith, and Marilith does true damage, only a little bit. Doesn't matter though, because she destroys 36 gems, gains 6 attack, and gets her mana back. She loops herself. So she loops herself when you fire her. So all you need to do in this team is you need to cast Mercy. I've said it again. You cast Cobra's Curse and get Marilith up, and then you loop Marilith, and eventually treacheries because you're blowing up things. Eventually your treacheries get going, and by that time you've matched so many 4 matches because of Marilith that these guys' treacheries have become really tough, and it kills everybody. So it's a really, really good team, and Assassin is excellent because you end up assassinating people, and when you get Assassin to level 100. So that's why you would get Assassin to level 100. So let me go back to here now. Barbarian, no. I have no team associated with Barbarian, and I don't know any meta team associated with Barbarian. Bard, again, I don't actually have Orpheus's, I think it's Orpheus's loot. Is that the mystic that's... No, that's a weapon. Can't remember. Anyway, there is a mystic that's associated with the Bard class, but I don't have it, so I don't have the meta team that goes with that Bard class. Corsair was... Oh, it was an outstanding one for getting blue. So I'm working Corsair up at the moment in my super fast team. So this is a team that you use to level up anything. So I said to Shadow that I would show a team. This is because this one hits everything. So this is the one you should do your daily tasks. The team you should do your daily tasks with, and you level up your whatever class you want to just get up to 100. I want to get Corsair up because Corsair is actually really cool. I won't show you a team though because there isn't a meta team, but it just is really handy for lots of different teams, especially if they use blue. So Death Knight has no meta team, Dervish has no meta team, Diabolist, I want to say it has, but I can't think of what it is. I think there is a good Diabolist one. I think it takes one of the traits. Nope. Okay, forget about it. Maybe there isn't one. Doomsayer, no. Dragon Guard, no. Frostmage, yes. So the Frostmage meta team I use as... Frostmage is really good actually. It's another really good blue team. Whoops. Oh, okay, that doesn't matter. This one's really good. And this one's really good. So freezing people is really good and getting more magic. So can't remember what all the good things about it are, but those are the good things about it. But so there is a good team. There is a good team for that. So I'll show you the good team for Frost Mage, which is why I have Frost Mage up. It is my PvP defenders. So this is it here. It's a great attack team, actually. It's better attack team than defense team. I put it in a defense team because it looks interesting. So lots of people choose to fight it. So it's great. Good. I go and look at pop up and it'll say like 12 people. You lost 12 times. But it encourages people to fight it because it just looks a bit different. But it's actually really fun. This is a really good PvP attack team. And mostly because it shuts everybody down because it freezes them. So freezes lots of people and then does really good stuff. So yeah, the freeze all enemies is really cool, but it does lots of true damage. So that eliminates armor and then does lots of damage. This one is on loops, of course, and feeds lots of blue back into it, looping everybody. So it's a great team. So that's why you would put Frost Mage up. Let's go and have a look at Hierophant. No. Knight. No. Mechanist. No. I'm sure there would be one, but I just haven't put any effort into that. Monk. I'm a bit embarrassed to say Monk should be higher. In fact, Monk would be one of those classes that's probably the next best to get to 100. Actually, probably better than. Yeah, no. Actually, it's probably taking over from Thief now. Yeah. So Monk's actually in that first class, but I do have a Monk team. This is my Monk team. I think this other one is the one most people use. We use what's it called? Wherever I named it, Crystal Bee. Crystal Bees. So that's the Arboreal Crystal again. For some reason the graphic wasn't showing, but this is the Arboreal Crystal. 2 Queen Beatrix and a Leprechaun. That's a great team with Monk. It just powers up the. One of the traits keeps on powering up your Arboreal Crystal, which of course keeps your Queen Beatrixes going. That starts them quickly, so that creates your green to start the loop. So that's a great team. I just like Sycorax, so that one for me, I just like this version of it a bit better. But essentially it's the same team. You just loop Sycorax, very much like you loop Shabani Vespera. So you loop Sycorax until you get, because Sycorax gives life to the allies, so it makes them really, really strong. So that's a very, very strong PvP team. So that's why you would get Monk to 100. Where we're up to Necromancer, no. Oracle, no. Orbweaver, we discussed Orbweaver, but there is a meta team for Orbweaver. It is. Where is it? Here we go. Arachnian Weaver, Web Spinner, Life and Death, and King Avalon. This is a very strong team as well. It's like Orbweaver was built for this team. So super good team. So that's a reason to get Orbweaver to 100 is that team right there. Plague Lord is another mediocre class, but it does have a team associated. So I wouldn't get it up to 100 unless it was for this team. In fact, you don't even have to get it to 100 actually, because you don't care about that, because all you're wanting you to use the Plague Lord for is to make the Shield of Iskaya a human, so that they're all humans, so that Holy St. Astra can. What Holy St. Astra does is Holy St. Astra enchants all humans, so this team is all human because of the Plague Lord class. It makes the shield human, so when you cast Holy St. Astra, they all get enchanted. And this makes this one a very, very powerful Explore 12 team. So this is a meta team that I use for Explore 12. So I don't use any of the fancy Skull Waterfall teams and Lord of Slaughter teams and things like that. They're too random. This one is massively reliable. Always wins. Never ever loses. So that's the one I use for Explore 12. And I use it now. And you notice it has no mythics in it. So I have videos, there's probably like 3 videos which I talk about that particular team. So that's the Plague Lord team, that would be the reason to get it up. But you don't actually have to get it up for that. Priest, no. Rune Priest, no. Sentinel, we've talked about Sentinel. Shaman, yes. So Shaman has, Shaman's team is Ketras Ferocity. So that's this one here. So this is either, there's 2 versions of this. One is just with another Ferocity. So it's Ferocity, Rage Reaver Ferocity, or you can substitute the last one for Ketras the Bull. which does a little bit more damage, but it doesn't have such superpowers in terms of, because of the third trait here, every time you do a 4 match, you give 4 to all skills on all Taurus allies when matching 4 gems. These are all Taurus because of Shaman. So Shaman makes Rage Reaver Taurus, so that all of those gain 12, because it's 4, 4, 4, no, 4, 4, 4. Oh, if you have 3 ferocities. So if you do a 4 match with this team, you will gain 8 to all your skills on all your troops. If you had a third ferocity there, you would gain 12. So that would be the reason why you'd have ferocity there. Ketris does more damage, but a third ferocity means you accelerate your skills faster. So half one, whatever. Yeah, people have different ideas with banners here. Some people put red banners, but I find Rage Reavers, you want to get Rage Reaver off as fast as you can. If you have brown and blue in your banner here, then you get it up in about 2 turns, and then once you started that, you start looping. So that's a great team. That's my go-to. That's a go-to PvP team that'll just get all the way to PvP 1 without any problem. It is also a team that you could use on the Labyrinth Faction Assault, probably quite high. I don't know if it would go up to 500, but it would get quite high. I don't think it would go to 500 actually, but because it hasn't got enough defense. It hasn't got enough looping and enough defense, but that's actually a pretty good team. So that's your Shaman one. Slayer, no. Sorcerer, yes, I have a Sorcerer team that I love. Now this is my pet rescue team. So not a lot of people have a consistent pet rescue team. I have my fastest pet rescue team of all is not that one. It used to be that one. That's interesting. I now use Dawnbringer here actually. The Bronze Lock Pistol is great. It works well and especially doesn't block Thrall, which is important, and also is a backup mana generator, and you get some gold from Leprechaun and Bronze Lock Pistol, so it gets gold up and destroys more gems because it's boosted by gold collected. So that's quite good, so you end up clearing the board with it after a couple of tries. But I actually discovered that although that works in theory, this team works so fast in Pet Rescue that you don't ever actually have to use it. So I put in a whole bunch of weapons there, and the best one I found was Dawnbringer. So that is, so yeah, so actually I might just show that to avoid confusion. So hopefully a lot of you guys have got the Dawnbringer now. You should have it. And importantly, it has 2 mana colors that don't thing. The interesting thing about this team, so what you do is you cast Leprechaun, which mostly charges Vash, but almost always charges Thrall. If you do have a purple mana match on the first board, then it's worth getting Thrall going, because then Thrall charges Vash. Vash eats Leprechaun, so you eat yourself, and does enough damage to pretty much kill everybody in the opponent's team up until about Pet Rescue level 5. So that's how that plays out. It's like a Rowan really on the 3rd turn. So it kills the team. Usually after your first Thrall, Dawnbringer's up. So Dawnbringer does exactly the same thing. So Dawnbringer does 38 damage to all enemies. This is the nice thing about using Vash to do it though. So Vash does true scatter damage, but it's also boosted by Vash's life. And because Vash devours Leprechaun, the second time you use Vash, when things get harder, you've also just got an extra 117 damage. So it's really, really strong. So Vash gets stronger and stronger. Also Vash's attack goes up, and so if you match any skulls, you pretty much kill people. So this is a really, really good fast team. It's the fastest one I have used in Pet Rescue. So that's my Sorcerer team. So that's my meta Sorcerer team. Where was I? Told you this was going to be a long thing. Stormcaller. So there's 2 meta teams for Stormcaller. The main thing is for Stormcaller is whoops. There's whoops. This is a trait. This conjure a Lightstorm when my turn begins. So Lightstorm, it makes a Lightstorm every turn. So there's 2 teams that works really well for. This is one of the meta teams. So Finesse, Numbers Bow, Finesse, Stormcaller. So obviously you can see how having a Lightstorm going all the time is going to help. Whoops, so that's a bit of a no-brainer. And of course the other meta team is the Shabanu Vespera. Shabanu Vespera, if you have a Lightstorm going all the time, that works really nicely here. It works really nicely too if you choose to use Thunderbird as your weapon instead of, go away. I like Dancing Daggers, but because that does damage to everybody. Thunderbird is another one to use, and Thunderbird works really well with this team, and what that one does is that does extra damage when you have a Lightstorm or you have a storm going, but it removes the storms. But that doesn't matter because the storm comes back next round because of Stormcaller, and of course it's yellow, so you have lots of yellow. So those are the 2 meta teams for Stormcaller. So Stormcaller is definitely one to get up to 100. I'm not quite there yet. Sunspear does the same thing. So Sunspear has a trait that is Heatwave, creates a firestorm at the start of every turn. So that's the use for Sunspear. So Sunspear is worth getting to 100, or at least worth leveling up, because you can get all the other traits and stuff associated with it. But Sunspear is worth concentrating on because Sunspear has dozens of teams. I will show you one. But Sunspear is basically anything red. So Guild War Attack Day red. This one is Tacit's. I've called it Tacit's best because Tacit said this was his best team, which is actually quite a good team. But relies on Sunspear, so relies on that Queen Titania and having lots of red on the board for Queen Titania, and transforming gems to red. And Uruguay, of course, makes more red, and Flamify makes more red. So yeah, there's lots and lots of good red Sunspear teams. Thief, of course, we talked about Thief before. Tidecaller, I don't have the mythics for, so I don't have the Aquaticus teams to show you. Titan, Warden is definitely worth getting you to 100. Warden is a team to fast daily tasks. So this one here. So if you want to make that one good, you put Warden in there. And the reason why you do that is Warden. Where is Warden? Well, Warden gives 5 extra defense to all your green mana cards, so it gives 5 extra boosted by armor times 2, so it gives 10 extra damage to Rowan. So any team with Rowan is improved by Warden class. So my daily tasks, that's my Vault event one, the one with the gnome weekends. That's the one I use. This is my daily task team, and this is my gold farming team in the City of Thieves, and this would be a good one. But I actually like using Orb-Weaver. I like the entangle on the first enemy, so I use Orb-Weaver. But Warden, most people should use Warden for that one. Warlord, no. War Priest, I just happen to have up to 100 because that was the first class I got, and I just played lots, so I wouldn't bother getting War Priest up to 100 though. So that is a long way of answering the question that was asked of me by Shadow. Hopefully you saw some teams there that you found interesting. Shadow, I know you said you liked your gold teams, but I'm just going to show you one of my gold teams. This is the gold team I like. Versatile Pistol. So this team here, this is a gold creating team. This team works with every single mythic. So chuck any mythic in there. Pan's in there because that's one of the ones I got a few weeks ago, of course. I just wanted to see how Pan does. And this, what this does is create lots of money, so that creates lots of mana, so that triggers the mythic. And you don't care about the mana here, and you don't care about the mana here, so it's only the only blocking is going on here. So you can literally put anything in there, so any mythic in there. So Sister of Shadows, no, Mother of Shadows, something like that. This team actually does really well in there. Mother of Darkness, it's a really good team in there. That's a good team. Anyway, I like that team. It's massively versatile. So there you go. All other classes that we went through and skipped over, they don't have meta teams, or don't have meta teams that I have, but they are, of course, useful for any event. So any event that comes up will have one of these classes. So level all classes. So what that means is on Tuesday, do the event to get your classes up. So more playing on Thursday is required. This Thursday it is Tidecaller, so I will be playing Tidecaller, because Tidecaller I don't have up. I've only got to 43, so I will carry on. I'll get Tidecaller to 50 on Thursday. So there you go. So that's what I do. So thank you very much. If you listened to the end, you're a bloody legend. In fact, I only hope Shadow did, because I just went on and on and on and on and on. But otherwise, thank you very much for making this game great. You're a wonderful guild, and all of you have a good week. Bye.